Okay, welcome everybody. It's Tuesday, January 13th. My name is Jim Cerny, and I'm your instructor today for the Sarasota Technical Users Group, or STUG. The class today is on basic Windows, and we will be covering an overview of all the wonderful and popular Google apps that are absolutely free for us. We won't have time to go into details of all of them. And my purpose of the class today is not so much to be an instructor to teach you how to use these apps, but what we've heard from a lot of members of our users group is that people say, well, I don't know what I don't know. And I want to know more things so I can decide if I'm interested in using these tools or apps. And so the purpose today is an overview of a good number of these free Google apps and the hopes it will spark an interest. And if it does, and I hope it does, you jot down what you're interested in, and you could look it up on Google and watch some short videos on how to use that particular app that you're interested in. Okay, so we're going to get started, and let me see if I can share my screen. Let's see. I think I have to do share screen up here. It's right down here. No, that's not it. Okay, there we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. We're in good shape. Now, Google is a very popular company. It's huge. And how do they make their money? Well, they make a lot of money because when you use Google Gmail, Google email is called Gmail, which you're probably familiar with. They use information that they can get as to what users are going where and doing what, and they can sell that information. And I think all the web browsers to some extent do that. It doesn't bother me. There's nothing that I have that I don't care that they track what I'm doing on the internet. But some people are sensitive with that. And if you are sensitive and you don't want anybody to know what goes on with your action on the internet or things that you're accessing on the internet, well, then you've got a real problem because you have to get some security that can block that for you. Okay. So we won't worry about that. That's up to you. But I do want to get into the Google free apps. What do you need an account? And it is no big deal to have a Google account. If you have Gmail, you already have your Google account and your Google account password. And all these things I'm going to show you today are open for you and they're free once you have a Google account. So even if your email is something else, get a Google account. It doesn't cost you anything. And it will be your Gmail address if you choose to use that email for your email, but it doesn't have to be that way. So long as you have a Google account, you can do that. All right. So what do I do? Well, I have a screen. I go to, this is my starting screen for my internet interaction. And my first tab I have is my Gmail account. Okay, I'm going to get that out. You can see this is my regular Gmail, and it's very powerful. You can do a lot of things. But the interesting thing is, and move this out of the way, up here in the upper right corner, you have 9 dots in a grid. They're little tiny squares. And if you move your mouse on there, you have to be in your Gmail account. If you move your mouse on there, it says Google Apps. And you click on that and you get all these Google apps. And there's probably close to 100 of them. And it goes on, and you go on even further. You could click and get more from Google. And you can explore these things. And you explore it by asking Google, what about, how do I use Google Drive? How do I use Google Photos? How do I use Google Gmail? And you can see videos of how to use these things. Okay, so this is the first step.
Jim, we're not hearing anything.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did I block out for a while?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
My internet connection, I got a message that it was iffy. If it gets to be a real problem and I don't come back in a couple minutes, then I don't know what else we can do. We'll have to stop the class, but it seems to black out for a minute or two, and then I can come back by relogging back on the internet. So I apologize. I don't know what to do about it. I'll call my internet provider if it continues. Let's get back to the free Google stuff. All right. There we go. Okay. Now, these things, I love Google free apps. They don't pay me any money, but they should. They are so popular and so well used and appreciated by so many people that really I consider it a basic Windows skill to be able to use and access a free Google app. Some of the ones that are more popular, just to give you the quick mention of their name, Google search, of course, you do in your regular Google browser, which is Chrome. The Google browser is Google Chrome. Maps, Google Maps, you can use Google Maps in your car through your phone if you choose to do that. Google Drive, we'll talk a lot more about Google Drive next week. It's next class, which is January 27th. Google Drive is hugely popular. It allows you to do spreadsheets, word processing, presentations, and you can share all these things with other people. And if you're working on a document, you could share the document live with other people at the same time. And you can all make changes to the document online, which is really nice. Google Photos, well, I use that all the time. Whenever I take a photo on my phone, it automatically goes to Google Photos and it stores all my photos for me for free. Gmail, we talked about. Google Contacts is very handy because it's my one place that I keep all my contacts. So my phone uses Google Contacts. If I want to contact anybody, it goes through my my contact list here for emails, texting, whatever. One contact list, very handy. YouTube. Well, gosh, when I sit and relax, 90% of the time I'm on my iPad, I'm watching YouTube. You can watch any news, you can watch any performance from anybody. You have a favorite band in the past or a group, you can listen to their music, watch them live, and you get feeds, and they do charge you extra for more recent information or live videos. But YouTube, I've never paid anything for it, and I thoroughly enjoy it. It has many old movies on it and so forth. Google News, well, you get the latest news. Google Play for playing videos of your own. Calendar, I use Google Calendar, and you can share your calendar with other people if you choose to. And if you do that, whatever somebody else puts on your calendar comes in with a different color. So you know that this person put in that date or event on your calendar, shared it with you, and it's in their color. So you know it's their date and their event, not yours. Some of these other things, Google Chat, Gemini is a translator, Gemini is no AI. You can use the artificial intelligence that Google provides through Gemini. I have not used that. Huey Poplock of our organization would know more about that. Google Sheets and Docs and Slides. These are the Windows Microsoft Office clones or products. You don't need to pay for Microsoft Office. You can use the spreadsheets, the documents, and slide presentations free on Google, and you can share them with other people. Google Earth is very popular. In fact, I may show you that one first today, just to get you all excited with what Google can do for you. Google Travel, so much more. You can click on more from Google, and there is just so much. And don't forget, you can get to your regular account and deal with your account options here, right here through the Google app window. Once again, all these apps are open by clicking on the Google app grid on your Google account. I happen to be in Gmail, but whenever you see a grid of 6 dots, it usually is Google Apps. Click on it and you get to Google Apps. Are there any questions so far? Let's look into one of them. Let's look into Google Earth. Now, I have to admit that I do use Google Apps and I enjoy them, but I'm the first one to say that I do not know all the details and all the options available to you. But let's look at one and see if we can explore it a little bit. And I think you'll enjoy it. Google Earth, if you haven't used it, I use it on my iPad all the time. I do not use it on my computer. You can make an app. You can take one of the Google apps and you can download it and make it a desktop icon on your computer. Okay. So this is Google Earth, and it doesn't look like much until you click on Explore Earth. Evidently, you can make projects. I have never made a project, but you can do different projects and it should remember them for you. But you click on Explore Earth, and let me zoom out. That's the whole planet. And you can move the planet around by dragging your mouse. And I think you can rotate the planet. You can make it direct to reset to north.
Hey, Jim,
Yeah.
we're not seeing anything, just seeing your face.
Oh, no. Didn't I share my screen? I'm sorry.
I see your face.
Okay. I have to share my screen again. I didn't know I did. didn't do that. Let me see if I can do that here. Thank you. Yeah, it's evidently when it shut me off, it stopped sharing my screen. Do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Please let me know. If I get disconnected again, I'll have to remember to go in and start my screen sharing again here. Okay, so let's see if I can get out of Google Earth. Let's start over again. So I went to my Google array of Google apps, and I went down to Google Earth, and I clicked on Google Earth, and it starts with this goofy screen because it assumes that you want to do projects, maybe start a new project, but just click on Explore Earth, and there is your planet. You could have different things displayed, like, for example, we have the different states and countries outlined with borders in this view of Google Earth. You can zoom in. You can rotate the Earth by holding down the mouse. And if you have this on your on your iPad or touchpad, you just use your fingers on the screen. So we can zoom in on anything, any place on Earth. I mean, state parks, canyons, mountain ranges, capital cities, national parks, anything you want. And we'll just zoom in as a sample. We won't spend too much time on it. But let's zoom in on beautiful Sarasota here. If you put it in the middle of your screen and you zoom in, it should stay pretty much in the middle of your screen. And there's St. Armand Circle and the beach. So we can zoom in here. And that's about as close as you can get and still have some decent resolution. You can see that the lines in the road are starting to get a little blurry, but it's very easy to pick up a car and the basic streets and even shadows. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back.
We're not hearing you again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hear you now, yes, but we haven't.
Okay. I'm really sorry. It seems that if I use something powerful like Google Earth, it uses up my bandwidth for the internet. And so I'll have to refrain from showing you so much details. if we cut out a couple more times, I'll probably just cancel the class because we don't need to go through that aggravation. And I apologize very much. It's something I can't control. So let me get back. We'll close this window. When you use something in your browser to go to a Google app, it'll open in a tab. And if you click the tab, you can get out of it. A couple more things about Google Earth is Google Earth has a street view. And if you click on the street view, you will get blue lines on what you're seeing. You have to be pretty close up because it's a street view to start with. You'll see blue lines on the streets. And if you click on a blue line, you will drop down as if you're standing on that particular street at that position. And this is where the Google cameras have taken street level view from the Google cars that cruise around and take pictures. You can, in street view, you can do a complete 360 degree, and you can zoom in and zoom out. So you can zoom in on a storefront or a house. You could even read their address or street names, and you could walk down the street. Very powerful. Let me maybe take a chance. Maybe it'll hold together just to show the street view one time very simply. I'll zoom out. Can you see this, the view from Google Earth?
See your face.
Oh. Just my face.
Yes.
Okay, let me try sharing the screen again.
Yeah, we see it now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I guess every time this happens, it stops sharing the screen. Okay, let me get out of that. Okay, can you see the high level view of Earth?
Yes.
Okay, we're looking at Saint Armand Circle here, and if I click this street level view, I get these blue lines. Now I could go to any place on any blue line and click. And it brings you right down on the street.
Oh.
Amazing. And, well, look at here, you have different dates. Google Earth now has a history. So if this particular position, you could go back in history and see what it looked like in 2019. Pretty amazing, right? But you could scroll around Saint Armand Circle, you can go up or down. Let's see if I can get rid of this thing here. There we go. Okay. And you could scroll around as if you're standing there. If you're interested in a store, trying to move this thing here, you could zoom in and see a particular store. And that's about the limit of the zoom. You can zoom back out. Now you can walk up and down the street by clicking these arrows. So as I click, it's like as if I'm moving to the next position. And then I can scroll left and right, up or down. It's really amazing. Read street signs, no problem. Now they blur out personal information like obviously license plates, people's faces may be blurred out, okay, because of privacy issues. But generally, if you're walking on the street, people can look at you, so it shouldn't be a illegal, but I guess they do run into lawsuits about it. Are there any questions about Google Earth? There's a lot more you can do with it. Okay. If you haven't used it, I recommend that you do. And let me get out of the Google Earth by clicking the X on the tab. And we're back to where we were. Okay. Let's see if I can make this a little less here. There we go. Get that out of the way. All right. Now, the other big one is Google Drive. And I want to talk a little bit about that. We'll look at it more next class on the 27th. But let me open up Google Drive. Google Drive is a free storage area for you. Your Google account allows you to have a certain amount of free storage space. I don't know if I remember 35 gigabytes or more. I don't recall offhand. I use and have used the free Google apps for years, and I am only up to 11% use of my free space. And that includes all my photographs. So when you use Google Drive or you use Google Storage on Google Drive, you get plenty of memory space for free, and then you could buy some very cheaply if you want more. What some people do is they get more than one Google account. So they may have Google accounts just for their photographs, for example. You can do that if you want. But this is Google Drive. Google Drive allows you to put files up on Google Drive. And you can see that you can store Microsoft Word files. In fact, you can store any file you want on Google Drive. Okay. If you store a Word file on Google Drive, I think it converts the Word file to the Google format. But don't worry about that, because when you download from Google Drive, you can download it as a Word file. So you're not converting any of your files to Google to have them locked into that format, because when you download them from Google Drive, you can download them into the format that you want. Okay, so here is my home. Here is shared with me. If I click on that, I get the Stug folder with all the Stug stuff that's shared on Google Drive, so that the author is listed, the date that it was last modified. You have options to change it and play with it, because I have the power to change and rework anything that is shared with me. So Bill Crow has chosen to share this file with other people. Actually, the way we've approached it with Stug is if you put anything on the Google Drive, it's shared with all the board members. And you can specify who you want to share it with. Nobody else can see it but you, unless you share it with somebody, and then only that person can see it besides you. And you can give them permission to modify. In other words, you can share a file with somebody and they can have it read only, or they can download it and make changes to it after they download it, but they will not be able to change the file that you have put on shared with me on Google Drive. Okay. Now, if we go to Google Drive and we want to do something new, here's where you get your options, where you can create a new Google document, a new Google spreadsheet, or a new Google slide presentation, or new this, new that, and more. Google Drawings, Maps, Sites, and so forth. Say you want to create a Google document. You don't need Microsoft Word. You can create your free Google document right here by clicking Google Docs. And do I want to create it in a shared folder? Well, that's because I'm in the shared with me folder right now. And I don't think I want to do that. I want to go to my drive because I want to create this in my drive. So I'll do new Google Docs. And it creates a new Google document. The controls, the menu options are very, very close, 99.9% the same as Microsoft Word. There's nothing you can do in Microsoft Word that you can't do in Google Docs. And you can create your document and start typing it and save your document. If you want to explore more about this particular thing in the next class, let me know and we can do it. But you can create a document and save it and it will appear. Let me see if I can just enter some text. Test document, if I can spell correctly. Okay. And when you use Google Drive to create a document or a spreadsheet or anything, you don't have to save it because it's automatically saved as you go along. This document is untitled. I'm going to give it give me a title test document. That's because it picked up the first words of my document and put it up there, but I can give it any name I want. That's going to be the title of my document. And then I just close it. And it should be here. There it is. So I can open it by double clicking it. And there's my document. It opens in a new tab, so you can have more than one document open at a time if you want. You can move things from one document to another. You can edit the document with other people online, actively editing the document. If somebody else makes changes to the document and you don't know about it, next time you open the document, it will show you the changes and who made it. So I'm going to delete that, but we can talk more about that next class. And if you want to play with this document, you can create folders. You can move your files into different folders. You can rename the files. Everything you can do in Microsoft Windows with files. File Explorer, you're probably familiar with that. We had a 2-class session on that. You can do all that here. You can go to the 3 dots. And here you can organize. And you go through organize to move the document somewhere else. Or I can download the document. If I download it, even though it's in the format right now of a Google Docs format, I can download it and it will download it as a Word. If I click download, it has downloaded as docx Word document for me. So no big deal. You know, it's real handy. Let's see if I can delete this here now. Open with. Here, I can open it right here as a Google Docs or download as a PDF or whatever. Move to track. And I deleted it. Okay. Just like Google Docs, Question? No? Okay. You could also do the same thing with Google Sheets. And here's your spreadsheet, just like Excel. You can do everything here. And if you want, you can download it as an Excel spreadsheet. But this is all for free and it's all shareable with other people. Don't forget to give it a title up here and then you can do your thing. It has the tabs at the bottom. All the things you can do with Excel, you can do here for free. So it's no surprise that in STUG, the Sarasota Technical Users Group, we had a more or less a rule that says if you have to teach something and you don't know what to teach it in, if it's possible, use a Google product because they're free for everybody. And if you teach your class teaching people how to use a spreadsheet and you use Google Drive to create the Google Sheet, which is just like Microsoft Office Excel, well, you cover more people because anybody can use it for free. Are there any questions so far? Comments?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you use Microsoft Excel in addition to the Google? You would have
Yes.
those?
Well, if anybody in STUG uses Microsoft Excel and they want to share or make available that Microsoft Excel file to people in STUG, like the board, for example, they would put it on Google Drive to do that. They could send it as an attachment to the board via email. They could do that. But if they put it on Google Drive, it's shareable and updatable by everybody that it's shared with. And if you do that and you want to download it from Google Drive, you can download it as an Excel spreadsheet. Or you can make your changes directly on Google Drive in the spreadsheet called Google Sheets right on Google Drive. You don't have to download it at all. So the flexibility with this is tremendous. Where this is really popular, like in the STUG organization, is with clubs and organizations, with people that they have to share things with, and people don't all have Excel, or they don't have Microsoft, or they are Apple users. You know, once it's on Google Drive, it's shareable and easily accessible by anybody you choose to share it with. Any other questions? That was a great question. I do keep private information on here. I have some of my finances on here. I'm not scared about it or anything. I've done it for years. But if you're sensitive with using an online service like Google to store your information, then it's something you probably want to look into and look into security. But I feel that my information is safe and not shared. Personal information, contents of my files are not shared by Google with other people that I know of. I'm not aware that they do it. They do share, you know, how often you get on, where you live, maybe if you're traveling, you know, they keep data like that. I'm sure they share that, but not the contents of the files that I'm aware of anyway. Are there any other questions about Google Drive right now? We'll go into it more. Maybe you could think of some questions for our next class on the 27th.
Yeah,
We'll get
yes.
into it a little bit more, okay?
Hey, Jim, I'd
Yeah.
like to ask something else. I think I have a Gmail address, but how would I don't know where it is. I mean, How would I get to Google Drive?
If you know your Google Gmail address, but don't know or remember your password for it,
I think I have probably the password too, but how would I get to the Google Drive?
okay, all you have to do is open your Gmail.
Open the Gmail.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't be easier. I'm going to get out of Google Drive now, and I'll show you that again real quick. Here's my Gmail. When you open up your Gmail, this is what it looks like, Gmail. And right over here, move this thing out of the way, here are the 9 dots for the Google apps. And you click on that and you get all the Google apps right here.
So if I just put in my address
And password.
and password into what?
Into the Gmail login site, you could go to, I have it saved the Gmail login as a tab on my web browser. So all you would have to do is go to gmail.com,
Okay,
gmail.com, and that is your website that you go to enter your Gmail address and your password.
okay, thank you.
And that website I save as a tab on my browser, so I can go to it right away.
Okay.
Yep, very easy. Okay, let's try something else here. Let's go to YouTube real quick. I love YouTube. When you use YouTube, you can pick a category, and the categories will change depending upon what you have previously viewed in YouTube. In other words, YouTube remembers. And I always home and all, and you can start browsing down. YouTube picks videos that it thinks you like. And the video, any length, you can go anywhere, do anything. Let me give you just a few examples. If you go onto YouTube, you can ride any attraction and any roller coaster in the world just by going to the park and searching using the search function and say something like Haunted Mansion. And then the choices come up here. And I want the one in Disney World. Click. And here we get tons of videos that you can click on and actually ride through the Haunted Mansion. So using the search is very helpful. You can ride any ride or go to any park. You can walk around Disney World for the Christmas decorations and just look at it. Any hobby that you have, painting, model building, model railroading, any game you want to play, chess, Monopoly, whatever, there are videos that say you want to, at Christmas, I wanted to buy a game for my daughter, and she's an adult, and I wanted to search for a game. I can put in the name of the game, and it will teach me how to play the game. So I can see exactly what it's like before I buy it. Car repair. An example of that would be, I got a notice to take my car in. They wanted to change the air filter in my car, and they wanted to charge me $100 to do it. Well, duh, go on YouTube. How do I change the air filter, and put in the model and make of your car, and you can watch a video how to do it, and go get the air filter for $15 at a parts store. You're done. Sports. You like sports? Well, I do too, but I don't want to watch a whole game and watch all the commercials. So if I want to watch a playoff game, I wait till the game is over and I can watch it on YouTube. And I can watch the highlights of the game. Now, if I want to watch the whole game on YouTube, I would have to pay some money. But once a game is over, there are highlights that are absolutely free on YouTube. Go back to all here. Home. Okay. Movies. Well, you don't get the whole movies on YouTube unless you pay money. But any movie you could think of that's been made in the past, if it's old, you'll probably be able to get the whole movie. If it's not, you could certainly get different scenes of the movie. You can ask to see Bad Day at Black Rock, Spencer Tracy. Put in his name, you'll get the scenes from his various movies. You can click on whatever you want. If you have a star or entertainer that you like, you can put in the name of that entertainer, and you will not only get maybe thousands of videos of that entertainer, but you will get interviews of the entertainer that was done in Australia or in England or another country that never aired here in the United States. The same thing with music bands, music that you like. Put in your favorite singer, entertainer, band, and you can go through their history and watch their videos from black and white TV to Ed Sullivan Show to Johnny Carson or whatever, and they'll be there. If your hobby is magic, oh my goodness, they got all kinds of magic stuff on here. Amusement parks, anything. I really, there's no limit. You know, I can't say enough about YouTube. I watch it all the time, and I pick what I want to see. You can watch news, and what's nice about the news is you can target a newscast that would be not live. They do have some live things, but mostly on free YouTube, they're not live. They're prehistory or news that's been recorded an hour ago, for example, but not absolutely live. But the thing going on in Iran, the news clips, the videos, they're an hour old or maybe 7 hours old, and you can watch videos of what's going on over there. There's really no limit. Are there any comments or questions about YouTube?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I had a question, but it's not about YouTube.
Oh, okay. What's your question?
Sometime I probably on my iPhone told Google's to back up photos, but I have so many photos, it's filling it up. So how do I, do you have any idea how I cancel that out? How I stop that?
Okay.
How I stop Google Photos from pulling my photos from my iPhone.
Right. Okay. That, like so many things today, it used to be easier to do years ago than it is now because
Yeah.
there's so many options. Okay. Let me give you some things to think about. And if you send me an email with that question, I can follow up with you after class with more details specifically for your needs. But let me give you a
Okay.
little background. Using Google Photos is very neat. I'm glad you brought it up. I'll X out of this. And we'll go to Google Photos here. Did I miss it already? Maps, here it is, Google Photos right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, I used to be a nice looking guy when I was younger. Anyway, Google Photos is a free storage spot you can update your photos to Google Photos. And what it does is it reformats them and changes the format into what they call a Google photo format. But it's transparent to you because when Google Photos takes your photos and puts them up on Google Photos for storage for free, they change the format to make less space, to compress the photo so it takes less memory space. But it doesn't matter to you because when you go to the photo and download it, you can download it as any photo file type that you want. You can download it as a JPEG, you can download it right into your photos in your Windows, whatever. Now, the next step with Google Photos is how do you control your photos once they're on Google Photos? And the answer is you can do all kinds of things with them. You can search for certain people and it will face recognition, find those people on your photos and put all the photos of that person together, no matter how old or new they are. You can sort your photos into different categories. You can label your photos with different labels. You can do all kinds of things, which I don't have the time to do. I choose not to do all these tremendous options you have with Google Photos. And we can certainly explore it more in 2 weeks when we have our January 27th class. But the issue that she asked about that is important is how do you work with Google Photos on a daily basis? How do you upload your photos or download your photos? And what happens if you run out of space on Google Photos? I have not run out of space on Google. Google Photos is not a separate memory storage area in Google Drive. Google Drive includes everything you save on Google Drive, and that includes your spreadsheets, your documents, and Google Photos. So for a Google account, you have one free memory space. I think it's about 35 gigabytes. It's not small, but it's not huge either. So what happens? Well, you have various devices. You have an iPad, you have your smartphone, and you don't use your computer necessarily to take photos, although you can. You can get a camera, like I have a camera hooked up to my computer now. I can take pictures with that camera. I can take pictures with my laptop. But most people take pictures with their phone. So now what do you do with Google Photos at that point? I think there's two things you have to look at. You have to go into well, you should go and search Google and ask that question. How do I store photos on Google Drive in Google Photos from my iPhone? Okay, you have to ask that and find out more about it. But I think you have to work with Google Photos first to make sure that that option is turned on, that Google Photos is ready to take your photos. And then you go to your device and you have to somehow turn that device on to share your photos, automatically upload it to Google Photos. So I have done this. I don't know how to do it. I have to look it up again because you do it once and you forget how you did it, right? If you do it every day, I can remember it. But if you do it once and you set it up the way you want, and you want to change that, then I have to look it up again because I forgot how I did it. But my device, my iPhone, when I take a picture, it uploads it to Google Photos automatically. Now, it doesn't do it right away. Okay, if I go out on take a tour and I take 25 photos in 10 minutes, all 25 photos will not be uploaded to Google Photos in 10 minutes. It may take longer. It depends upon your connection and your speed with your phone. And the phone using a connection to the internet is usually can be slower than if you're uploading from your laptop or computer from home, right? So your phone mostly automatically, and Bill Crow can get into this more, your phone can use the internet if that internet is available. And you tell your phone, yeah, I want to use the internet here at McDonald's, or here at this other person's house, or here in my own home. Or automatically, the phone can say, you're not on the internet. I will use the cell phone network to connect to the internet. And that's called a hotspot. And you can set Google to upload the photos from your phone automatically, I think, whether it has an internet connection or it uses the hotspot through the cellular network to do it. Okay. Now, I'm getting to your question. Your question is you probably have hundreds of photos and you've decided to use Google Photos for the first time. So you want to upload all your photos to Google Photos. And you can do that. But there's going to be two problems. One is there's going to be a time element. If you have hundreds or thousands of photos, it could take hours or maybe even days for Google to finally upload all those photos to get it all done. It takes time. And secondly, I have somebody else joining in here. Let me admit them. And so the second problem is, what if things start going and things don't go well? And I think that's what you've expressed as your question, that there seems to be an in-process going on, but it's taking so long, maybe it's stuck, or maybe it hit a problem, and it's not ending, and you don't know how many photos have been uploaded or not. Does that sound like your question, ma'am?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't ask it right.
Okay, try again.
I see my Google Photos in my Google Drive and it shows 15 gigs is what it's giving me. And it's full, it's almost full, 12.7 gigs, and they're all photos. And
Right.
I think at one time I told my iPhone to use Google Photos, which, as far as I'm concerned, for me was a big mistake because now my drive is almost full and
Yeah.
I have cleaned up space. I have deleted everything else. Yeah, I don't have Gmail. And photos is taking up 12.7 gigs. And and a lot of them are duplicates, and I don't understand why. And I
Right.
could go in there and delete them all, but I don't want to delete them all because I'm not sure. Some of them are old photos that I have been uploading to put in a memories app, and I don't want to get rid of the black and white ones. So
Mhm.
to sit in there and delete each one is very difficult. All I want to know is, and you know, the more I delete, then it just keeps uploading all the new ones I take. So I want to know how to stop my iPhone from backing up to Google Drive.
Okay.
And I think I can probably Google that. I just thought maybe you might have a quick answer.
Yeah. Well, if I was in your position of having all those photos, the first thing I would think about doing is paying a couple of bucks a year to expand my memory on Google Photos, because I'd rather not lose my photos. I'd rather keep them all, including the old black and white ones. And to me, it would be much worth it to spend a few bucks to expand my Google Photo space memory. Okay. The second thing is maybe if you're not sure, maybe you're not running out of space in Google memory, Google Photos memory online. Maybe you're running out of space on your phone. And that can be a
Well,
problem.
I'm logged into Google and it says right there 2.3 gigs of storage remaining. And 12.7 of it is full. So, you know, it,
Okay,
yeah, I know I have a lot on my phone too,
right.
but I pay for extra space on my phone.
Okay, I
Anyway,
would,
I'm just not that interested in Google Photos.
oh, okay,
So that's why, and yeah, I can pay for some extra storage till I figure this out. I just
right.
want to figure it
Well,
out.
yeah, well, you're gonna have to pay somebody to store your photos because your phone is gonna fill up.
Well,
And
yeah,
what,
I
you
have,
know, the whole
yeah,
purpose of having another storage space off of your phone is then you can delete the photos that you're on your phone. So whether you use Google Photos or another storage area for photos that you pay for, that's the way to go so you can delete the photos from your phone.
uh-huh, okay, thanks.
Okay, good. And you can look that up. There may be other photo storage tools available to you. I don't know anything about them because I do use Google Photos.
Right,
But
right.
I'm sure there must be. And don't forget about memory sticks, you know, those little memory things that you plug in. Those are very handy and very cheap, and they can hold a ton of photos. But
Yeah,
it,
I have numerous backup things. I pay for iDrive and I have like several external hard drives, so I'm not worried about losing the photos.
okay.
Um,
All right.
but yes, thank you.
If you're comfortable with paying for extra space, usually they charge you on an ongoing basis, so you have to pay every year. If you've got
Uh-huh,
a thumb drive that plugs in, it's yours. You don't have to
right.
pay anymore. But I would caution you wherever you store your photos, if they're very valuable to you, to store them in two different places.
Yeah, I pay for iMemories, which I don't know if you know what that is.
No, I'm not
That's
familiar
an
with it.
online digital program, so all my photos are there, and then that's shared with family.
Okay.
So I do have that as well. So I think I just have too many backups,
Yeah.
to tell you the truth.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna have to end. Boy, that
Okay.
time went pretty fast. I only did a couple of things. Let's see if I can get back to full screen here. Participants, let's click on that. No, no. There we go. Okay. Thank you all for attending and putting up with the drop line for a couple times. I apologize. Please take a moment before the next class to go to Google and explore some of these things and write down what you're interested in and write down some questions. Our next class is the 27th from 10 to 11. And thank you all for attending, and thank you. I hope you have fun with Google products.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Good
Have a great
class.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye.